All right, everyone. Welcome to another Mountain Man Monday. This is live stream episode 29 for today is June 1st, 2020. I hope everyone is having a great start to your week, is being safe, enjoying themselves. It's a beautiful late spring, early start to summer here in the mountains. It was a wonderful weekend as far as the weather was here in the mountains in Western North Carolina. We got a break from that crazy amount of rain that we had the previous week or so before that. So, yeah, and as you can tell over my shoulder, it's a beautiful evening as well. So hope everybody that's going to be watching live enjoys this, as well as those who will watch later. As always, all the Mr. Mountain Man live streams are available under the live stream playlist on the channel, and I usually keep the last few weeks up on the main video tab so that people can find them a little bit more easily. So as we get started, who do we have? We've got David Markley. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great start to your week and everything's going well. Happy Monday. And might see who else rolls in here. I hope things are going well for you. And we got Lily. Hey, Lily, how you doing? How are things up in the Northeast? I hope they're going well. I was just mentioning that here in the mountains, we've had some really nice temperatures for late spring. It's been, kind of like the upper 70s during the day, and then like the mid 50s during the night. Everything is full bloom. Mountains are green. Things are pretty nice. Can't complain, to be honest with you. David says, pretty good. It's been busy. I can concur with that. That's one of the reasons I haven't been, I would say, as much in attendance in some of the community live streams as I have been in the past. Kind of twofold, maybe threefold. One was, when it was still kind of winter and it got dark earlier and it was cold outside, there wasn't much I could do. And that was compounded by the pandemic. And so I just had a lot more time when I was idle, plus the birth of our baby. So there was a lot of time sitting around, and was able to, on daily, join a lot of different live streams and be a bit more social. But recently, boy, have I been busy. I barely sat down this weekend. Lots of painting, mowing, doing just nonstop, it seems like, but good. Just lots of stuff around the house, lots of things. Work week's done, and then it gets to the weekend, and it's like doing work around the house and spending time with family. So I get what you're saying when you say been busy, for sure. It's summer-like but cool. That's nice. What I was going to mention is you had some videos on your channel that show the area well from where you're from, and I recommend those to everyone to get kind of an idea. It's always nice to see new places of anywhere on the globe, really. It kind of reminds me of that time I got to go to the Philippines and check that out. And so, it doesn't matter where you're going, on the other side of the globe or up in different parts of whether it's North America or here in the States or wherever, it's always nice to see a different area. We got Foxy Wolf, Mr. Mountain Man, LMR. Yes, hope you're having a great start to your week. Thank you for stopping by and joining us this evening for this Mountain Man Monday. And glad to have everybody here. Love the weather. It's not humid. That's exactly right. We haven't hit that kind of deep summer, where it gets real raunchy and hot and humid yet. So definitely enjoying it right now. So again, hope everybody's having a great start to your week. Just been busy and enjoying the mountains and just getting a lot of stuff done. So let's roll right into what we do here on Mountain Man Monday and start off with I've been getting this wrong every week, but I'm getting it right this week, which is housekeeping for the week of June 1st, 2020. So I'll go ahead and get up here what we have going on. And as always, the main thing that I've got happening this week is the same as always. Just talking a little bit about the Mr. Mountain Man Instagram account. I got a new picture on there. This was a beautiful picture of a deer that was in the yard, so that's real pretty right there. Of course, always, I typically cook out on Sundays, so usually very boringly post what I've been cooking out, although that was from Memorial Day. So that was actually after the last live stream that I did when we cooked that flank steak. So anyway, just wanted to share with you all just a little bit. If you want to stay in touch in the in-between times, you can find me at Instagram.com/Mr.Mountain_man. And it's the same link, same handle as I always say for the Twitter account, twitter.com, Mr.Mountain_man. And I do announce, I've been getting a lot better about it, making sure to announce when the live stream will be. You do not need an account on Twitter. You can just go to that link. But I did announce a few hours ago that the live stream would be roughly between 8 and 8:15 tonight Eastern time, and I was able to hold to that. So if you find that helpful, you can always check that link on Mondays if you're interested at what time I plan on going live, including if I'm not able to have a live stream that week. I'll make sure to mention that as well. The only other housekeeping, which is not related to any links, would be that, let's see here. I have been working on getting the, I just want to say a quick hello to Kentucky Girl. I see Kentucky Girl has rolled in here. Hope you're having a great start to your week and everything is going well with you. The only other housekeeping is just been getting my motorcycle kind of back in, shape to get out on some rides here in the mountains and specifically the Blue Ridge Parkway and surrounding areas to hopefully make a few videos this spring and summer and fall. I'm getting some new tires on it and I need a new helmet and just, getting everything in tip-top shape to be safe because I like to ride safe, obviously. Believe it or not, helmets, for those of you that don't ride motorcycles, after so many years, it's recommended to replace proactively because of the interior shell and the heat and whatnot. It can, hurt the integrity. So it's been about 10 years actually. So I'm replacing that helmet and the tires, while not horrible, they, need replacing. So just trying to get everything in good shape so that we can get out there and show you some of these beautiful mountains. Ultimately, one of the things I got in my helmet too, I don't have the equipment yet, but I'd like to get the Bluetooth setup because the helmet that I'm getting, the full face helmet, does have the cutout for the Bluetooth system so that hopefully what I can do, because I already have them out for the motorcycle, is narrate when I'm going on the different rides so that if you've watched my past video, I really like it, but unfortunately I can only narrate when I stop. So there's, lengthy bits of time. It's more of a tranquil type video, but it would be nice if I could make some videos where I could, kind of point out stuff. So we'll see if I can get that this season. I'm making an investment to get all those other things I talked about. So that's, that would be pretty cool, especially if you don't ride. You get the best of both worlds. You get to see it through my eyes and get to see some of this beautiful area in the mountains in this area. And even if you're not from the mountains, just being able to see, I think it's really cool to be able to see first person from the motorcycle. I mean, the wonderful world of technology that we live in. 20 years ago, you probably had to have the passenger holding a big VHS camcorder or something, or a little high 8 or something like that. Now, I don't have a GoPro. I might add that to the repertoire someday as well. But right now, the mount for the cell phone camera, maybe with the Bluetooth, some of this stuff is a heavy investment. So I want to make sure that I'm putting back in and you guys are getting something out of it too. So anyway, that's kind of the news and notes. I did think at one point, I thought something that might be kind of fun is to get a poll out there. I could probably do it through my Twitter account of you all voting on which of the next type of video that I do. Quick shout out to Brian Fisher. I saw Brian Fisher jump in here. Just want to say hello to everybody that's in here. And Ted and Deborah Harrison also. And thank you for the nod on being safe on the motorcycle. I will definitely do that. As you can hear, I wear a full face helmet. I'm getting one that's actually, it's got advanced ratings on it. It's a really protective shell. I usually wear like an armored coat. I mean, I ride pretty safely. I try to. I've taken the motorcycle safety course many years ago, so I try to be an aware rider, new tires, keep my bike in great shape and enjoy and have fun. So yeah, definitely doing that. But I thought about doing maybe like a poll through Twitter. I don't know how to, like what's the next type of video you all want to see? Because I have like half a dozen that I want to do. So, whether it's a motorcycle ride, going out in the mountains and hiking, some other random stuff, maybe a food review or some of these others. Not that I have a plethora of ideas. For me, it's more about the time premium. That's my restriction, not a lack of any kind of thought or creativity, because it's just the balance of life and making things happen. That's why I find the live stream so nice to connect with the community, because I don't have to, put into it the several hours of editing and all that. But at the same time, you probably get bored of this background right back here, and you'd rather see something a little more interesting. So I want to get the balance of both. I really like making canned videos. That's, after all, that's the main draw to the channel. This is just like extra cherry on top to be able to communicate and having fun. I did see one comment down there. Ever thought about hiking to Mount LeConte? I would love it. I mentioned that once on another live stream. Yankee in the South invited me one time using StreamYard, and I was a guest. Somebody had asked me what are my favorite mountains, and I said pretty easy. That's Mount Mitchell, Mount Pisgah, and Mount LeConte, and in kind of the Blue Ridge, Great Smoky Mountains area. And I am not like a professional hiker. The ones you've seen me at, Chimney Rock and such, I'm not. I wouldn't consider myself like an advanced hiker. So I know Mount LeConte. It's I forget. Is it like 4, 5, 6, 7 miles? It's all up, on foot, and then you have to make it back in the same day. There's no like, oh, I give up. Let me take a Uber back down to the bottom. There is a nice restaurant up top to eat and stuff. So that would be something I'd have to plan. I would love to do it someday. I don't know when, but I definitely think that would be really pretty fun. So yes, Kentucky Girl, have I ever thought about it? I've absolutely thought about it. I haven't planned it or gotten formal about it. Yeah, I think under the right conditions and right weather and stuff, long sun days, with hours, get up, maybe hike up, have a meal, and then hike back down. Definitely, get into shape for that one. So yeah, the other housekeeping, I guess the last thing, I got my Captain Benjamin's shirt on. Let me see if I can turn around. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. I'm probably making a fool of myself, but this is one of the shirts they sent me last year, and this is pretty cool. So this is the place I went last summer in Myrtle Beach, and so they sent me all that stuff, a whole slew of shirts and shirts for the family and hats and all kinds of stuff. I really, as I've mentioned a few times in the last few live streams, would love to get over to Myrtle Beach and go out. Last week in the news and notes, I talked about buffets and how they're going to have to evolve. And so looking forward to the day when I could get back over to there. One other, I just noticed a comment. Somebody said, how about Grandfather Mountain? So Grandfather Mountain I have been to. I have not been there since 2004. Loved it. I have really old, like my first digital camera ever, because that, 2004 pictures from there. And I haven't been back. That is very high on the list of things to do, and potentially this summer. The whole pandemic thing has thrown a wrench in the machine about what's open and what's not, and how to navigate these places and how to get to them. Or are they open? Are they not open? So that's complicated things, but I will tell you, Grandfather Mountain is on the top probably 3 things of places in Western North Carolina that I would like to do a video at. They have a cool bridge that's suspended up high. They have amazing views. If I could get out there on a clear day, you can see just miles and miles, just like you can when I went to Mount Mitchell. And somebody mentioned here about collaborate with Smoky Mountain Hiker. Kentucky Girl did. He's experienced enough to go to the con. He is the Smoky Mountain Hiker who does make an occasional stop in here on my channel. Is an advanced hiker and definitely would be the liaison to go with for that kind of thing. Like if it ever got formal and he was going to do it with like a group that wanted to, that would make me much more comfortable about doing it. And so, yeah, so Mount LeConte, Grandfather Mountain, a lot of these things, right now too, I've got, family, a young family and things to do. So I have to be sensitive sometimes to going off for long periods of time without them. That's why a lot of the activities I try to incorporate them into as well. And so, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of it for the housekeeping for the week of June the 1st, 2020. And, just, what's going on in the world right now. I just can't emphasize enough just to, love thy neighbor and, treat everybody with respect and love and care, just like we do on this channel, welcoming to everybody, and, just be positive, and, prayers for those that are going through a really tough time in our country, and just positive and love for everyone, everywhere. You can't go wrong. You really can't. So just, I want to reverberate that message just to, as this channel has always been, and as a community, just welcoming and loving to everyone. And so, just hope everybody's safe and doing well right now. So with that, let's go ahead and move into the news and notes for the week of June 1st, 2020. So what's on deck? Let's do a check-in on a few things here. So Carowinds, which is the theme park that is in Charlotte. Well, it's interesting because Carowinds is actually on the North Carolina and South Carolina border. I used to have season passes many moons ago, almost 20 years ago, and so it's pretty neat because you can half the parks in North Carolina, half the parks in South Carolina. So they have to kind of straddle both rules for reopening phases and such. They do not have a definitive reopening date yet. They are looking at, and what the article talks about here from WSOC in Charlotte is they are talking about, they've been having several meetings about how to get back to it. There's going to be restrictions on restaurants and restaurants opening and social distancing. And they're looking, as how other theme parks have done it with, requiring masks, guest limitations, temperature checks. And so they're coming together with their plan still, but still nothing definitive. And they also mentioned, because it's Strauss State Line, the park is working with health officials from both states on a reopening plan. North Carolina has been one of the more conservative states as far as the reopening plan has gone, especially in comparison to our neighbors to the west in Tennessee, have moved more aggressively to reopen than what we have here. In fact, we just had, and I'll get to that in the next article. Actually, let me just go ahead and jump over to that. We had just gotten into phase 2 of North Carolina, which allowed several more types of businesses to open. And this was about, I believe, a week and a half ago. Personal care, barbershops, hair and nail salons, tattoo, they could operate at 50% capacity. Restaurants could open back up, but bars, nightclubs, gym, health clubs were supposed to remain closed. There has been some controversy around that because some gyms have bucked the trend and tried to reopen against the order. You know me, I'm as eager as anybody to get back to the gym, but I'm also personally a little bit conservative on the front of getting back out and about, because it's kind of a confusing time, because on one end you would look and see everything going on and it feels like there's been this kind of subtle message that the problem has gone away, there's no more problem because things are reopening, that means we're done. But nothing has really changed. Nothing at all has changed other than awareness. And that's really confusing to me because, on one hand, a lot of it's been politicized and it's like, well, if you're tough, you shouldn't care. But on the other end, it's very serious. And in the United States, over 100,000 people have died from it. And I know people make comparisons to flu and this and that, but I don't care how you cut it. That's a lot of grandmas and grandpas and relatives and aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters and people. And that's not insignificant. It's a very aggressive virus. And so it still is a little bit like Russian roulette personally to me. So I'm a little more conservative in the sense of going back out and getting involved in a lot of things. But it's confusing again, because again, there are many, many people just going back to pretty much a somewhat of a regular normal and, not having issue with it. So I personally am confused. It's difficult to make decisions on what to do and what not to do. I will certainly feel much more comfortable next year when the science advances and there'll be, more in the way of remedies, antivirals and vaccine and things to combat it legitimately, to feel a lot safer in that. But again, I don't have all the answers. I don't. And so back to the gym comment, I'm as eager as anybody to get back to the gym, but even I don't know if it's worth it or not. And again, I can't emphasize enough how badly I want to go back. I do not like working out at home. I was talking to my wife, and we don't, normally to try to keep the carpet nice, we don't wear our shoes from outside because they might be dirty or muddy. So, I have slippers for inside the house, or like a hard slipper, and I'm like working out in slippers. It's really hard to get like all invigorated and work out in slippers. I'm like, I got to wash one of these pairs of shoes so I can wear them on the carpet and I won't wear them out, outside, because it's like working out at home has been like a mental challenge, and I've got some stuff, but but at the same time, when they open up, it's kind of like a petri dish of sweating people and breathing and hard breathing and all kinds of craziness at the gym. So I don't know, but the phase 3 part. So if you come over to North Carolina, it's a bit more, is a bit more slower on the phased approach. In fact, the phase 2 expires June 26th, which means phase 3 could be underway in the time for July 4th holiday. So we've got like yet another month of a lot of businesses being closed. And I know that's hurting the economy too. There were several articles about the state of businesses, especially in the Asheville area, that are just really struggling this year between the reduced capacity and the reduced crowds. There was one story, I don't have it up here, but of folks that came into town and I believe, wanted to stay at the Grove Park, which I believe only maybe opened today. But the Biltmore was still closed at the time. And then they were going sightseeing in some places downtown Asheville, but they were closed too. So it's a struggle because, a lot of Western North Carolina is also based on tourism and has built up over the years because of that. And, excuse me, a lot of culture downtown. And so we get a lot of people that come in. And again, it's not so much the glitz and glam of the go-karts and the dinner shows that we have here in Western North Carolina, like maybe Gatlinburg and East Tennessee. It's more about art and culture and dining and history and museums and things of that nature, and just the pure mountains and outdoor element. So, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but the one thing that is open and can be explored and is still very popular is, like I mentioned, the mountains, the hiking, the outdoor activities. And what a great time of the year to have that opportunity. So while every indoor place and every restaurant and such may not be open, it's still a great time to be in Western North Carolina. So so that's kind of the state of that. And with Carowinds, how about over in East Tennessee? What's going on with Dollywood? So Dollywood also has not made any official announcements on when they're going to reopen, other than soon a plan will be provided. And this is an article in Forbes that had just come out a few days back. And so they were quoted as saying, which was Pete Owens and a spokesperson Pete Owens saying, in light of Governor Bill Lee's recent guidance on reopening large attractions, they'll announce plans soon. But in the interim, well, YouTube is obviously a wonderful place to explore any nook and cranny of this entire globe, including theme parks. But one of the things that they do have and is mentioned here is they have a Vimeo account where you can go, see the park virtually. So this is the official Dollywood Parks and Resorts. And so if you wanted to, if you're missing Dollywood, you can come in here to this account and you can see a lot of the different attractions. They've even got some first person view, I believe, and some of the information and news at Dollywood. So while you can't be at the park, you can visit it here virtually from the Vimeo account for Dollywood. And again, it sounds like plans are going to be announced soon. To that, I'm going to skip ahead and stay with the theme park because who sets the stage for theme parks and being open? None other than Walt Disney World and the Disney Empire. Down in Florida, they have announced plans for a phased reopening beginning July 11th, and SeaWorld on June the 10th. And I've been following this story a bit because, again, this is kind of the foundation for the other theme parks and places of attractions to see how it works. Started with Shanghai Disney, and now they're local here in the States with Disney World. And essentially, they are setting out their plan. Their guests and employees would be required to wear masks, undergo temperature checks. Resort will suspend parades, fireworks displays, and other activities that create crowds. Encourage contactless payment systems so we don't have to exchange cash. They will restrict the number of guests, and you will also have to make reservations. Now, there may not be a large contingent of folks here, or maybe there are a few that are going to Disney World or are not. But again, why this is important is because parks like Dollywood and Carowinds and other regional parks, maybe you're talking about Cedar Point in Ohio or Kings Island or any of those other ones, they're going to look at these major theme parks to see how they do it and probably use some of that same tact in opening their park. Things like masks and temperature checks, keeping people 6 feet apart. Because unlike us being able to make our own decisions to go out in public and do how we choose to do, all these parks and such have liabilities. The last thing they want to do is be smattered all over the headline of the news that there's an outbreak of the virus at one of these theme parks and they have to shut back down. But yet other theme parks had success, meaning their implementation of reopening was not as successful and they have a liability on their hands. So that's why Disney World is still important. A lot of these also are backed by, are either public companies or related to something public, whether it's a figure like Dollywood or with Disney World and their stock. And, so they have to do this, strategically to make sure that they're doing it correctly. And the Disney World site officially, that was from Yahoo, but they have indicated on their reservation update how they're going to do it. And again, this could be applied to like Dollywood and others. The Dollywood has like the Dreammore Resort and others. At Disney World, they are not allowing new ticket sales and hotel reservations so that they can like level set. They're probably, I use that word from the story I'm following, going through a tiered approach where only reservations for park guests. So people who have made hotel reservations and have tickets will be the ones that are most likely allowed in the park. That could carry over to like a Dollywood as well. Maybe somebody who had a Dreammore Resort reservation and a ticket. Again, this is kind of just putting the pieces together. None of that is official. But at Disney World, they're doing something similar. They are canceling all the dining reservations, as well as what if you're not familiar with their fast pass system, which you could get a limited number of passes per day. That would get you to the front of the line of certain attractions. They're canceling that as well. Essentially, the way I react to all this is that they're having to level set with these new regulations and rules on how they're going to go about getting the park reopened again. And so while Disney World prepares for that, again, I'm sure a lot of the other regional parks will follow a lot of this and be able to model their reopening plans after that. So again, they can stay out of the news, they can be successful, They can make money, which is what they want to do. And then people can enjoy the attraction experience without being in harm's way. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm not so diehard about any of these parks that I plan on visiting in 2020. So I don't anticipate any Mr. Mountain Man videos from Carowinds or Dollywood or Disney World this year. For those of you that don't know or are new to the channel, I did used to live in Central Florida. We had Disney World annual passes for several years. I had not yet had a YouTube channel. If I did, I would have a plethora of content from there, because we were able to go there pretty much anytime we wanted to. And we could drive home in the same day, so we didn't have to pay for a hotel. It was a wonderful experience for the years that we were in Florida. So again, that's kind of the news on Disney World and Dollywood and Carowinds. The last article, one of interest, was in reference back here in Western North Carolina to a lot of the rain that we had the previous week. Now, this was actually a picture from Southern Virginia, but on the Blue Ridge Parkway, where part of the parkway actually disintegrated and fell down and eroded right there. And that's a big problem. That's not like something you can come in and fix in, a day or two, or patch a pothole. So, it's a, it's a curse and a blessing, the Blue Ridge Parkway. I mean, they cut that road in some of the most beautiful areas on the side of the mountains. So that's the blessing part of it. But because they do put that parkway, and I'm not a civil engineer, but it just deducing the logic, because of where they have that, if you get torrential rain or any runoff or the mountain, it could be, I only imagine, end up happening what happens here. Thankfully, this is not close to the area that I'm in. I mean, I guess I should say selfishly, it's not in the area, but it's going to take a while. That was up near Roanoke. So that's in the earlier part, the most eastern part of the parkway. If another interesting fact is that Blue Ridge Parkway is the second most visited place in the national park system, only second to the Golden Gate, that'd be Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, was number one with 15 million visitors. So Blue Ridge Parkway is very famous. And if you're ever looking for something cheap and free to do in the mountains, driving on the Blue Ridge Parkway is a wonderful place to take pictures, see some incredible scenery here in the Blue Ridge Mountains, all the way from Virginia to Great Smoky Mountains, and you can take any section of it that you want to. So that wraps up the news and notes for the week of June 1st, 2020. So I know I've missed some folks speaking here. Let me try to catch back up and see what everybody is saying. We've got Marvin Carlton. Hey, Marvin, hope you're having a great start to your week. Yeah, so what else do we have here? Let's see. Susan Thompson, hello from Kentucky Girl. Hey, Dale Bush. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man and everyone else here. Sorry I'm late. I will catch up later on what I missed. I hope you all had a great week. I hope you did as well, Dale Bush. I really hope you're having a great start to your week. Yeah, just going through some of the updates, trying to get the motorcycle ready, videos, and everything going well. Let's see here. We've got Susan Thompson. If I didn't say hello to you as well. Hope you having a great start to your week. Oh, we got Rick&Dell Simon. Let me see if I can pronounce it right. I always read the name. Okay, first of all, the last name I'm assuming is French, right? Is it? I'm going to butcher it. Is it Simoneaux? Because I know that's not like Simon Ox. That's Simoneaux. Is that how I pronounce that correctly? Unfortunately, I don't think I have any French, or very little in me. And if I'm wrong as French, just correct me all over the board. Anyway, hello to you, and hope you're having a great start to your week as well. It's great to see you here. Let's see here. Oh, Foxy Wolf. Yeah, I do see a couple of the posts showing twice. So yeah, I have to look there. Oh, look at this. We got Hike with Mike. Hey, folks, my favorite theme park is the wilderness. What a great comment. I mean, so spot on. That is totally right. Like, This is the truth. Like, you don't need to pay for, $100 a day to go on roller coasters and such. Can be nothing sometimes more therapeutic and enjoyable than just the great outdoors. I think there is so much truth in that. The challenge is for the children and younger people. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to get them to enjoy. It's funny, as you get older, you start enjoying like leaf colors turning and mountain hikes and streams of water and waterfalls. And when you're young, it's like boring, So, but I am in that same bucket. I think it's really, really great and quite enjoyable. Rick&Dell said, hope everyone's well. We are doing okay over there. Hike with Mike says, Florida here, been to D World too many times. Don't ever need to visit again. Yeah, I still do love Disney World. I really do. Like, I would go back. I have excellent memories of it. My biggest gripe was the crowds. The crowds were tough because we, as a working person, and, it was tough to get over there except for Saturdays. And guess what? The whole world goes there from Florida on Saturday. It was always just crazy packed. I have pictures on Main Street at the Magic Kingdom that you wouldn't believe. They're just wall to wall to wall people. I mean, every few feet. But it was nice to be there as a family, as a cohesive unit, and spend time together. You didn't have to go to Disney World to do that. You could go to the park, or you go to other places. You go to the beach or the mountains. But I did enjoy it. Epcot was our favorite. It had wider paths. It was a little more elbow room. And so I still enjoy Disney World. We were not going to stay in Florida for Disney World, but I do miss it. Let's see here. Can't tell. This is the third live stream in less than an hour and does not play more than seconds. Now just switch to phone. Oh, okay. Hopefully that got all fixed up. Blue Ridge Parkway is a beautiful drive. Yes, it is a beautiful drive. Admittingly, I've not done the whole thing. If anybody has, let us know. I would like to do the whole thing. It is a slow drive. I mean, listen, if you get on the Blue Ridge Parkway, don't ever try to get from A to B quickly, because you get sightseers and you get people going under the speed limit often for two main reasons. One, they're sightseeing, which is perfectly fine. Or two, they're not used to driving in the mountains. And so when they start going up the hills or in the curves, they're intimidated and they're not desensitized to it like those of us that are from the mountains. I'm not saying I'm doing a slalom through there, but I can hold the speed limit, which on most of the parkway, I believe, is 35 miles an hour. Is it unusual to come up behind somebody going 23? No, it's going to happen. It's going to slow it down. So that's the only thing. The length of the parkway, I think 350 miles, give or take, at 35 miles an hour plus stops, plus people slowing you down. Yeah, it could take days, a couple days to do the whole thing. So you usually plan out sections. And I think I've done from the farthest I did was I probably covered every section from Boone, roughly, I believe, up in that area, or Blowing Rock, somewhere up in there, all the way over to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Shall we call you Professor Travel now? Yeah, no, I certainly am not. My passport only has one stamp in it. I just, I'm a bit versed here in this area of the country, but not really. I mean, there's so many states I haven't been to, so many places. So yeah, there are some places I've been to, but I don't think I've earned that nickname yet. I'm not that savvy yet. Looking forward to tomorrow. Get to have a haircut and a pedicure. All right, Marvin. Well, my hair continues to grow wildly. The only advantage of it is because my hair has gotten longer, I do not need to put gel in it anymore because it's so long that it just sits back on its own, saving a few bucks a month on hair gel. I guess the haircut places are open. I probably could go out and get a haircut. I've just been busy and haven't had time to yet. But I would like the air conditioning to get turned on. By air conditioning, I mean the sides. Usually the sides are where I feel the heat the most, and they get on my ears, and I don't like that feeling. So, yeah, getting a haircut is a great idea. Sounds really nice. Okay, so I got this. Simoneaux. I think I said, what did I say? Simoneaux? And he said yes. So I'm assuming I was right about French. Right? Was I right about French? Or French? It's a French origin. I'm assuming yes. And Simoneaux. So Rick&Dell Simoneaux. And if I ever mispronounce it, can you please put the Simoneaux again? That would be helpful. I agree with Hike with Mike, and I do too. It's an excellent thing to do and overlooked so often. Yeah. Oh, Simoneaux. Oh, I said Sime. It could be Simoneaux, and I read that as Sim, right? Like Simoneaux. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Thank you for correcting me, and thank you for helping me too. I saw this little boy in Smoky Mountain Hiker video today with the camera, and he was having a ball. Made me feel good. You know, Smoky Mountain Hiker, I didn't get to see the video yet, but I just briefly looked at it. He went to Mount Mitchell, and the little bit I scanned over was reminiscent of the video I created last December. I love Mount Mitchell. It's just a tremendous place to go. I hope he had a wonderful time. I don't think he's here tonight, but might be exhausted, because if he went all the way over to Mount Mitchell there in North Carolina and then headed back to, I believe he's from the Gatlinburg area. That's a good 3 hours, 3 hours there, 3 hours back, plus the hike and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's really cool. Did I say Mount Mitchell? Mount Mitchell is what I meant to say if I misspoke. Mount Mitchell. When you get older and do waterfall hikes as a guy, you tend to stop for many pee breaks due to the sound of rushing water. You know, I joked the other week because there were so many people at the Chimney Rock hike that I did on Mother's Day with the family. And, you know, there were a few times we smelled something that didn't smell like bear poop. I'm serious. I mean, there's no bathrooms. People just, you know, it's nature, you know, and they don't put signs up. They have, you know, restrooms at the beginning, and, you know, but we're human and it's nature. So, you know, it happens, whatever. You know, that's what happens when you're on long hikes. Sorry I'm late hours, everybody. Tonight, the reviewer, we are doing well. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Just having a good conversation here. And let us know what you've been up to. Let's see here. Thank you. Now I'm not the only late one. You know, you guys can show up whenever you want to. I mentioned in the housekeeping that I do put on. Let's see here. Let me see if I can put it in here. Twitter.com/ sometimes I get Karen's story in here. She's not here tonight. We'll post some of this. And anybody else, Mr. Mountain Man. Twitter.com/ Mr. Mountain _man. Should be that one right there. I just put it in the last comment, but so I'll just jump to that real quick. That one right there, I try to post Wednesday, late afternoon, early evening, what time I plan on going on to do my live stream. And so if you're interested or want to time it, by the way, you guys can come in anytime you want. And so I just appreciate all the regulars and everybody and just the great conversation that we have. Let's see here. Let me go back up. I'm always late. Don't worry about it. Oh, looks like Simoneaux was right. He said I got it. So that's awesome. I appreciate it. And thank you for the lesson as well. My photo icon is from the top of Pilot Mountain. I was wondering about that, Hike with Mike. And I am looking up. In North Carolina, I wanted to know exactly where that is. Pilot Mountain State Park, Surrey County. I need to look that up real quick because I need to see exactly where that is. I'm zooming out. I'm sure, Mike, you could probably tell. Oh, yeah. That's, hold on, let me see here. Oh, no. Okay. You correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm seeing, that is actually in mid-central part of the state. That is east of I-77 and south of I-74, west of Winston-Salem. So you're getting out of the mountains. It's interesting because if you look at the geography of North Carolina, it starts to get pretty flat, and then all of a sudden there's a little blip, and that's Pilot Mountain. So looks like a really cool place, especially looking at the pictures. So that's awesome. Great avatar there, your photo icon. That's really, really neat. Let's see here. So Kentucky Girl recently did an ancestry DNA and about 8% French. You know, I always wanted to do one of those too. Is that the one where you do the spit and you send it in and they send you back the results like 23andMe? Or did you just submit your name? Either way, I would like to do it as well. I know from my family, I mean, I've got probably like everybody, I've got a lot of European mix. I've got like Irish and English, and I believe some Croatian and some French. And I'd like to look into what else is in there. But yeah, that's what I'm known to be, but that's really interesting about that. And French is correct. Okay, cool. Yes. Thank you for your live chat. Always. I love doing this. I love that you guys are here and that we've got a great group of regulars that show up and have a good conversation. So I'm happy to, converse with you all and see what you guys are doing. And I look forward to this during the week. It's really cool. Kentucky Girl said, Simoneaux sounds like a Seminole, the Indian tribe from South Florida. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. And actually what Kentucky Girl is right. There's a large population of the Seminole tribe. And I'm not well educated on this, but, I believe there's some reservations down in Southern Florida. Also the casino, there's one down there too, but there's also Indian reservations and such. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a miniature Devil's Tower. Okay. Are you from? Yeah. So there's also the Devil's Point at Chimney Rock, which is a little rock that looks like a devil's face. That was naturally, it looks like from the profile. But that looks really cool that you can get up there. By the way, you'll have to mention, is it like a pedestrian type hike up to the top, or you have to be an advanced hiker? I mean, that looks like you're at the top or somewhere near the top. Yes, and near Sning. Oh goodness, am I just butchering all the hints? I want to say Hinsing Rock Mountain too. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Oh, geez, that's because the next one, Hanging Rock. I could have been there the whole time trying to put those consonants and vowels together. And I'm like sitting there saying it wrong, and I'm not. It's not even the right thing. It was Hanging Rock. Okay, Hanging Rock. Cool. Let's see. Also have some German DNA as you as well. Yeah. So those they have like the two different kits I've seen because I gave one to my wife for a gift once. They have the one that just tells you your ancestry, but then they have the advanced or the additional purchase you can make, or the more expensive kit that kind of talks about what diseases you might be prone to and issues. The reason I was able to get the better one was because it went on sale on like Black Friday or some deal on Amazon. It went to like half price for a day, so I was able to pick up kind of the better package for like half the price. So if that's something you're into, you just need to look out for sales. Probably, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, things like that. They usually have deals. I live near where most of the battles of the Seminole Wars occurred. Oh, okay. I can tell you, unless there's something I don't know. That is one thing I do not have any in me is like Native American. But I am fascinated by the education and culture of the Native American history in the United States. Some of it's very sad. It's extremely interesting. I went right before I created this channel. I went, excuse me. I went with a family over to Cherokee, North Carolina, and went to the Cherokee Indian Museum. And it was pretty cool to walk through and learn about that. They have a very nice gift shop at the end of that with books and a lot of books. Like not every gift shop sometimes it's just shot glasses and knives and stuff like that. But I liked that the museum had a lot of literature on the topic, whether it was fiction or nonfiction. They had paintings and, of course, stuffed animals and T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. And then you could walk from there down the main strip and go to, your typical tourist type attraction places. So Cherokee, North Carolina is a neat place to go to here in Western North Carolina if you haven't been. I did an ancestry and find one of my relatives witnessed the marriage of John, Rolfe, and Pocahontas. Wow, that's really cool. So much history to tie back to. It's interesting to see. What everybody's background is. And Kentucky Girl says, you should do an ancestry DNA and let us know what your ethnicity mix is. It's really neat to discover. Yeah. Like I said, I definitely know some Irish and English and some of that, but I should. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. It's probably just, it's one of those things where I would want the better kit and it's like $100 and it's just, one of those things you got to budget for. It's better as a gift. To kind of get, because I think that it's pretty cool. Let's see. Foxy Wolf says, I am Wolf Clan Cherokee, traced to Trail of Tears in Welsh. So Foxy Wolf, that's what I was talking about. The museum did a lot of education on the Trail of Tears. To be honest with you, the museum did a very good job of showing a lot of kind of, I say metaphorically, the sins of the past, that have been made, unfortunately, and it really enlightens folks in a good way to what happened. And so there were a lot of books on the Trail of Tears, a lot of good information. I highly recommend going to that museum. I think that's really cool. That's pretty neat that you have that connection in your ancestry. And we got Mr. Mountain Man Mom. Mr. Mountain Man Mom, my mom, I haven't seen you in several weeks. I talking to my mom for her birthday last week, and I said, my guess, Mom, is you're bored of the live streams because I haven't seen you on like 2 months. And she said, no, I'm not bored of them. I thought you quit doing them because you were busy with family. I said, no, I do them every week. I just hadn't seen you, so I figured you gave up on hearing about Dollywood or the mountains or whatever we're talking about. She's like, no. I like to be a part of it. I guess, that's what happens sometimes on YouTube. It has happened to me a couple of times in a couple areas. If you accidentally click something, you might unsubscribe from a channel or not get the notifications. I know in live streams before, especially if I'm a moderator, I've accidentally clicked on people and almost like put the wrong people and like, time out or hidden them, or, you got to be careful what you click on YouTube. Kentucky Curl says, that's cool, Foxy Wolf. It is cool. And Mr. Mountain Man Mom, we are a cerebral crowd. That's right. We are. That's a great way to say it. We have some excellent conversations here. Oh, Mom says German, Van Gothard, and French. Refer both from your grandmother. That's really cool. Look at that. I didn't even have to pay for the kit. We got Mom to show up, and she said some stuff about what my background is. So that's really cool. I'm also glad that you came here. Rick&Dell, Simoneaux, have to go for now. Thank you, Mr. Mountain Man, for the live chat. Talk to you guys later tonight, and God bless everyone. Same to you. Have a great week. Have a safe week. Enjoy this nice weather and stay safe. So we'll go on for about another 10 minutes. I've been keeping my live streams to about 1 hour time slot with the new format, doing the housekeeping news and notes and all the other interesting information. By the way, we always have a pretty small group of individuals here that are regulars. So I don't get too many trolls or anything like that. But on that note, one of the things that I have an issue with when I use StreamYard is I myself, as the host, I need to look into this, but I don't have mod controls, even as the host. So I do need to rely on moderators. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a community of welcoming and loving everyone, and anyone is always welcome to join here. And we do Like Kentucky Girl said, we are a cerebral crowd, but I do tend to stay away from the controversial subjects. I don't want to get into that too much. So anyway, I do rely on mods. If anybody here is a regular and not a moderator and wants to be, let me know in the comments if you want to be a moderator. I can't make you a moderator on here, but I'll take a note. Go back to YouTube on the main and go back and make you a moderator. Again, it may not always be a wild troll. We just want to, just keep the conversation again in that same vein of welcoming and loving and good for everyone to enjoy. So if anybody needs to be wants to be a moderator, if not, I can't even tell who is a moderator here. I happen to know Triple M Mom is, but other than that, I'm not really sure. So let me know. Foxy Wolf said, just real quick, Ted and Deborah Harrison said, good night to everyone. Stay safe. Peace and love to you as well. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a great week. Let's see here. Foxy Wolf had an interesting comment. I was brought up not to mention heritage. Now I embrace it and proud of who I am. You absolutely should be. I mean, from what you mentioned, that's super awesome. I mean, I think Native American ties or heritage is such like, is it okay to say like a pride, like awesome, just really cool. I mean, such a history. And so I think that's so neat, but I'm not aware if culturally, maybe that's not something that folks do. But, we also all as a community are Americans, and we're happy of that, our modern heritage, but also our ancestry is, actually, I shouldn't say we're all Americans, because I don't know. We might have people from other parts of the world. But, if you live here, then you have that modern heritage, but you also have your ancestry. And so, so I think that's really cool, Foxy Wolf. And I think you should embrace it. Hey, Rita. Rita is like the, really super, awesome supporter of both the Mr. Mountain Man channel and the Eclectic Handyman. I always give a plug to my other channel every week, the Eclectic Handyman. I actually have had several videos that I've put up there on the car. I've got some other ones that I've done and some tools stuff. I kind of like how that channel has gone. At first, I was like, I'm just going to put random odds and ends, but I've kind of gotten a theme going. So anytime I find something helpful, plus some of the stuff I enjoy with my tools and all that stuff, I try to put on there. So the Eclectic Handyman is my other channel, but Rita's on both and always commenting and thumbs up, and I really appreciate that. That's really cool. Kentucky Girl says, I love it's a politics-free zone. There's plenty of that if people want it in other places. I may get into deep conversations on this channel sometimes. I mean, I did talk a little bit tonight about the confusion that I have based on, statistics and stuff, but I don't want to get controversial about it. It's more of just a reflection on what's going on. So I agree, Kentucky Girl. Got enough stress and other things in life like work and real world and all that stuff. So we want to keep it, I don't want to say light and artificial. Like we don't always have to just talk about the weather and small talk. I want to have good, like you said it really great tonight, cerebral conversations, but I don't want to be unwelcoming to anybody. In fact, I really find it cool. Like, I don't know if Lily Elmar Collins was still here, but right now, I think she's one of the people from the furthest areas away from here. Was it Nova Scotia or I'm sorry. But anyway, I like to get people from all over the world or anybody from all backgrounds because I find it really interesting. We've had some people from Ireland stop in and some others. So yeah, as well, you should, Foxy Wolf, in reference to being proud of your heritage. Hey, we've got Todorico here. Hello, Mr. Mountain Man. Arrived late tonight, but always enjoy your live chats. I appreciate that. It's very kind of you. As always, I record these. I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, I do archive my live streams, but they're available under the live stream playlist. And I also try to keep the last few active on the main video tab. So if you ever want to do that. Rita says, hope you're doing well. I will have to watch a replay. Yes, please do. Let me know what you think. Let's see here. The reviewer, welcome, Todd. Heritage makes us who we are. That's right. It's part of it. Let's see what else. Hey, the garage digital pad is dead. Come fix it and put it on the other feed. Yeah. Honestly, I could if I lived closer. I don't live close to my parents. I'm in North Carolina, they're in Ohio, but they have one of those. Actually, I haven't seen the one on your current garage, but the new style, we had one when we were a kid that was like a wired keypad. That's how we would get into the house. But the new ones, they program over the same communication style that the programming remotes do. And so they're a lot simpler because you basically just bolt on a new one. I think they're about $20 online, give or take. Don't quote me on the last time I bought one of the Genie ones. And the instructions are stupid simple on how to do it. But you're right. That would be a great thing for the channel. But yeah, sorry. If you want to wait for me to come, whenever all this craziness has come, I can do it for you. You did not mention it in the 60s, 70s South. You did not mention it in the 60s, 70s South. You mean the temperature? Is that the temperature? I might have missed that comment. Let me know what I was talking about. It is. At the beginning, I talked about it's in the 70s in the mountains right now, and the lows at night are like in the 50s. But we're going to get into some 80s. If you were me at the decades, I don't know what that was in reference to. I might have missed something about that. Sorry. Todd has an awesome comment here. And I said I'd keep it to an hour, but I'll probably finish with something like this. Would love to have a conversation about moving from Cincinnati to Asheville. So when I moved into this area, and the one thing that I can recommend, and I've talked about it before, is never move on a whim, because I'm going outside of your scenario, Todd. I'm talking, more broadly. Never move on a whim because something like, for example, some people will move to Florida because they see pink flamingos and palm trees and mouse ears, and then they just move to Florida. But they don't realize there's a lot more to Florida than that. And I'm not poo-pooing on Florida. That could be any part of the country, anywhere. It could be Chicago, New York, LA, Washington State, whatever. Do your research. Now, that sounds cliche, but we are in a tremendous time to do digital research ahead of time and actual physical, can I say, reconnaissance or like data gathering of the actual area itself. So what we did is we took an entire year of going, and just reviewer, got to go, Mr. Mattman, have a good night. Yes. So do research online. You can look at homes. You can look at 3D, like digital, like walkthroughs. You can look at pricing. You can look at crime. You can look at schools. You can look at health. You can look at income, age, weather, demographic, all kinds of stuff. You can look at geography, distance from groceries and hospitals, or whatever you want to look at. You can, so how those things impact property values and zoning and all kinds of stuff. A great site is called City Data. If you Google like moving from such and such and such and such, usually City Data forum posts come higher. I kind of annoyed the people on City Data because I think I put a post many moons ago about moving from like Florida to North Carolina or something. They're like, read all the older posts. But I had kind of a new take on it. So after I weeded out the cranky people, I actually got a lot of great advice. And then I paired that up with realtor information and other things. So, Sex Mad, hey, good to see you here tonight. Sorry, back to the other comment. Do your research and find out about what you mentioned. You would do research and see about where location, and then you could kind of put together kind of a portfolio of like the different locations that you want to go, and the different cities and the different suburbs and areas, and then you can match that up with your notes and stuff. So you put all that together, and then you'll make a sound decision about where to live. That's how I think you should go about it. So do you have any suggestions? I'll wrap up. A couple more comments for stopping muscle spasm in the leg. I have one for 3 days now. I don't. I don't. I really don't. I don't know that much about that. I mean, I do tend to exercise and drink a lot of water. I mean, I really don't on that one, Rita. You'd probably have to talk to your doctor or a physical therapist or something like that, because I wouldn't want to give the wrong idea or wrong information. And so, yeah, but I hope you get better. And I don't. I know that when I've had aches and pains and spasms and stuff, I use like a heating pad or something like that, but I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do or not. I just know for me personally, I've done something like that before. Depleted magnesium. Oh yeah, eat foods are rich in magnesium. Rita sometimes. Okay, so yeah, so that's a great idea. Right. Oh, you just made me remember. I have had spasms before after lifting weights that are extremely painful. About 4 or 5 hours after lifting weights. I asked the same question several years ago. Kentucky Girl just made me think of it. I haven't had, the reason I wasn't thinking because I haven't had legs, but I get them in like the arms, especially when I do like biceps and curls in my forearms. And I reached out to some people and they said the same thing about magnesium, like some of that, but I didn't take anything addition. But the biggest thing was water. I think for me, I wasn't drinking enough water because I was intake a lot of caffeine for like a pre-workout and during workout. And of course, caffeine can dehydrate. And so I wasn't counterbalancing or counteracting that with enough water, like just a few sips or drinking water, but it had caffeine. It wasn't good. So I increased my intake of water and that did help me. But Kentucky Girl, that is so, she reminded me that somebody had said something similar. So it might be something to look into. Just a couple more comments here. I'm sorry if I missed some. Just a quick hello, Sarah Rathbone. Good evening, Miss Mountain. Good evening to you as well. Also, one of the coolest icon pictures right there with the huge dog. Love that. And yeah, thanks, Kentucky Girl. Water might be what I need. Yeah, water. Can't go wrong with water. Water is always, if you look up online, I forget how many glasses of water to drink a day, but, I can't speak for anybody on here, but, if you take a reflection on what someone drinks, like if you have a cup of coffee in the morning, maybe somebody has a tea, and if they care for soda, it's just caffeine after caffeine, and those things can really deplete you. So, making sure to drink water. Sometimes, for me, there's a few things I do for health reasons that I may not necessarily enjoy, but I do them. Like I eat a big bowl of steel cut oatmeal in the morning with a huge amount of flaxseed. Do I particularly enjoy the taste? Not exactly, but it's really good for you because all that fiber and flaxseed is really good. I drink green teas. Do I really like the taste of green tea? Not particularly, but I drink it because it helps, with, overall health. Sometimes I'll just go chug a big glass of water. Am I thirsty? Maybe a little bit, but because I know I've maybe had a bit much caffeine through the day, I need to drink a big glass of water. My ex-brother in-law was Tom Platts. He always drank lots of water. Yeah. Yeah. And Foxy Wolf, I think I got what you were talking about. Some of the, unfortunate situation that you may have had with your with the Native American heritage previously. I think that's maybe what you're referring to, which is unfortunate. But again, kind of looking at the Native American heritage, I don't know if you had been able to go to it. Like either the Cherokee Museum was really awesome, I was talking about earlier. Just some really great. They have some like large mural like type like 3-dimension, scenes throughout history. It's just a really cool place to go. Yeah. So, anybody else have any last minute comments? I'm going to wrap up the live stream here, and I'm glad thank you for everyone that showed up today. I really appreciate it, and some good conversations. Got you up to date on what's happening here in the mountains and abroad, or throughout, I should say, this region in the United States, on what's going on with the different theme parks and such, and the Blue Ridge Mountains if you're coming in. And got a couple of late folks coming in. Andrew Rogers says, hello, Mr. Mountain. Hello to you as well. I hope you're having a great start to your week. Just wrapping things up. And don't worry about missing it, because, again, these are recorded. You can go back on the channel. Sometimes I've noticed it takes a few seconds. I shouldn't say seconds, maybe like an hour, or I don't know. You guys can let me know, where YouTube processes the live stream, like the video, and the link won't show up right away. But if you have the link from the email or the notification, you can always access it immediately from there. So just a quick FYI. Thanks for showing up as well. And anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and stay safe. Enjoy spring, summer, everything that's coming up. Be kind to each other, love one another. Just really happy to have you all here. Great conversation. And I hope everybody has a tremendous week. I look forward to seeing you all next time. And again, just want to say hello to everybody that was here, and including Mr. Mountain Man Mom. And again, happy belated birthday to you as well. And glad to have you back on the live stream. So everybody have a great week. Dale Bush, just real quickly, had confirmed it does take a while for the chat to show up. Enjoy the week. And thanks again, everyone. I hope you have a great week. We will see you on the next Mountain Man Monday live stream. Take care, everyone, and have a great week. Goodbye.